This is Ryan and Michelle, and welcome to the Celebrate MarriageCast 5-Minute Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everyone.
It is the Friday after the election, and we are going to give you some political guidance, I guess, right?
Maybe
and
political debrief, right? It's like
Debrief.
catch your
political
breath.
debrief with counselor and friend of the show, Tony Bohr. And you guys, we have to say this, we are recording this before the election, so this really is like pure, untainted. We have no idea what's going to happen. This
Right.
is just solid advice. Whatever side you're on, whichever, or not, I'm not even going to say side because that just sounds like you're clashing, but whatever you're voting for, whatever you voted for, we thought, we were just talking as a team, and we thought, you know what, this is a big deal in people's marriages, and it's potential that maybe you voted different than your spouse or your neighbors or your in-laws. So let's talk about it. Tony, here for the political debrief.
Yeah. So I think the easiest way to look at it, whether it's your spouse, your neighbor, whatever, is from how the world's been going. Half the world is happy right now, and half the world is disappointed. One person feels like they won, the other person didn't. Whether that's your spouse, your friends, your coworkers, all those things, is just know there's a lot of emotions going on. There's been a lot of emotions building up to it. It's been frustrating just from the standpoint of like just watching all the commercials and those kind of things.
Yeah.
And so just recognize that, okay, who are you talking with? Is that how is that person feeling? And just being Christ-like. Because at the end of the day, whether your person won, whether your person lost, is our world's okay, right? God's with us. We're good. He's going to take this. And we hear that and we kind of say that sometimes, but then we get really kind of going and thinking I know God's got it at control, but what about this? What about this? And how about this? And it's like, we just got to slow down and remind ourselves, God's got this. Stay in the moment. Just do the day. And right, his advice is be Christ-like, be like him, which is, I don't think Jesus would gloat if he had a candidate, if his candidate won. I don't think Jesus would be. Jesus knows everything's bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there was a lot of fear and worry going into the election. And I imagine that based on who won or who, if it was who you wanted to or not, there potentially could now be a whole new set of fear and worry. But knowing that God didn't give us a spirit of fear and worry, that's not how we're supposed to live, and truly just like surrendering that and trusting and praying for it, because there's so much then that's out of our control. But what we can do is we can pray for the new elected officials.
Absolutely. And then recognize we're good and it's not done, right? So we're kind of talking, hey, the election's done. There's still going to be people like, oh, the world's going bad. No, it's going to be way better. No, it's going to be way worse. And that angst in the world is still going to be there after the election.
Yeah.
And so let's try and be that light or be different. It's like, hey, we're good, right? We're okay. But even I get a little, wow, what's going to happen with this or this, right? It's like, slow down, Tony. You and God are good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, that's what we need to know, and I think emotions are so high rolling into this, and they probably will be afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think regardless of however you vote, Tony, you said this at the very beginning, half the people voted differently. And regardless of how you vote, I think we need to be Christ. To those people that are around us, to those people that we meet, it doesn't matter how you vote.
Yeah.
In regards to this bigger topic of being Christ to your neighbor, being Christ to the people that you're around.
Yeah. And living out the fruits of the Spirit, right?
Yeah.
Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I feel like I always miss one in there.
I think you got them.
You said that great. But
living that out.
Yeah. So if we say, hey, Tony, how do you want to handle after the election? I think the answer is what you just said.
Yeah.
Just do the fruits of the Spirit. That was great.
Yeah.
It's like, that's how we handle it.
Yeah.
That's how we handle it after the election. that's how we handle it after any day, every day, all the time. So I love your answer, Michelle.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I think we didn't talk about what the action point would be, your assignment for the weekend, but I think I have one. I think that we need to challenge our listeners to pray for the newly elected officials.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And again, we don't know who that is,
Right,
but
right.
pray
Yeah.
today, right now, for
Yeah.
your new president, because at the end of the day, like we can't control if our person wins or not. I mean, we can vote, but to cover this new person in prayer, just see how that goes and how it changes your heart too.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else, guys?
I think that's great.
All right.
I love it.
All right.
Live the fruits of the
Have
Spirit.
some
That's awesome.
political music playing the dun 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 dun.
Hail to the chief. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on the Celebrate MarriageCast 5-Minute Friday. And we want you to know, if you don't have a church home, you can join us anytime at Celebrate at Church. We would love to have you. We hope that you have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.